There we go. Hey there,
Got it
folks.
working finally.
All right. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that. Okay. I'm hoping that's not just how that naturally smells. So like that whole astronaut food thing?
Yes, the dried stuff.
Yeah. So it turns out that in my cupboard for at least 3 years now, maybe longer, the best used by date is November 2017.
Mm-hmm.
There was a freeze-dried ice cream sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
So, recently located that. Let's see how this turns out.
Okay, dude, you do you.
Oh, God, that is not a pleasant smell. Is that just what dry ice cream smells like?
Maybe don't eat it. uh, or do. It's your decision.
That is dry. That is very dry. Still tastes like an ice cream sandwich. It's like a very diluted ice cream sandwich. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I understand where you're coming from.
Like if you were to taste it through a filter.
Yeah, I went to NASA, like the Houston NASA headquarters, as a field trip in 6th grade. Mm-hmm. We spent a weekend there, and we got to try dried astronaut food, and I got to take some home. That had some good snacks for the next few days, and I honestly didn't mind it. But
did it have a weird kind of chalky smell to it?
It was very dry, but like I don't remember the smell per se. All I remember is the taste wasn't bad, and it was like I can finally eat ice cream without hurting my teeth. This is nice.
That typically means that you have some tooth decay issues.
Well, I hadn't lost all my teeth yet, so yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because like I ended up getting some like minor cavities on my back teeth, so I kind of had to get a filling for those.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to describe the smell because it's familiar. Because the whole thing about smell is it's the sense most closely related to your to memory.
Mm-hmm.
So I recognize this fucking smell, but I don't know how to describe it. It's not a pleasant smell, but it's very much a food smell. I don't think that's like a stale smell, though. I don't know what that is.
Is it like jerky or something? I mean, like
no, not jerky. It's not a meat smell.
I know it's not a meat smell, but like the jerky has that kind of dry smell that goes along with it, you know?
Oh. Like it smells like if you were to combine a vanilla wafer with a bookstore.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about, actually.
But yeah, like that's what this smells like, and it's the weirdest fucking shit.
Does it taste like that? That's the question.
Well, no, it tastes like a really fucking dry ice cream sandwich.
Okay.
Like a crunchy ice cream sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing I got a bottle of water. Anyway.
The reason why we're here tonight.
Welcome back to What Are We Reading? I don't know how often we actually say the name of this thing, so there are probably people out there who like listen to this shit and like, what the fuck does WAWR mean?
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing. I think that's part of why introductions could be a good thing. I mean, for the most part, we're pretty decent at that, but at the same time...
Yeah. I mean, I don't like doing intros because they always feel fucking forced. That's why back whenever I did gaming videos, it was always just, hello. Welcome to this series.
I mean, that's kind of an intro in of itself right there.
Yeah, but it's short, simple. It's not like overdone.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, it could be as simple as...
The best way I can put it is that I don't feel like I'm acting forced when I do it.
I mean, it could be...
I'm still slightly uncomfortable. Like, it's probably like kind of noticeable, but like, whenever I do like the fucking Patreon readout,
Mm-hmm.
like just kind of like how fucking awkward I am with that.
You don't sound awkward, but no.
There's a whole thing of like trying to do something kind of semi-rehearsed and structured.
Mm.
Anyway, that's not the point.
The point is, we're reading Didn't It Blow Your Mind, Claude Frollo?
This was so not worth selling Tom's soul.
I returned the book. It's mine now, or it's back.
Oh, you got your soul back. Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what you've done with your soul. Anyway, we're on chapter 3, Empress Theodora's box. Gross.
What's in the box?
I guess there's also a possible reference to 7 there as well.
Maybe.
I mean, I was going more for slang off the word box. Anyway, Palace of Justice, 1480s Paris.
Not 1980s Paris. That'd be a completely different story.
Okay, so Claude's not here. He said he'd be back in a bit. Boy, he was so beside himself ever since we arrived at the 15th. Poor Claude, he told me that if the thing's missing, it could mean his head. I only hope it's still there and that Claude's moved it to a more secure place.
Damn, what a time for Iggy to show up. No sign of him or Phoebus. Maybe this time Iggy will stay out of trouble. Paris is a big town. And what Fern must be going through. She sounded mighty upset that this fool took her car, then ended up 500 years in the past. I don't blame her as if she
back to the past.
I don't blame her if she does what she says she'll do. When I find Iggy, I'll knock him in the middle of next century. A Fern, which century? 16th or 21st?
Can I just say I really fucking hate the way time travel works in this series? Like, I think I've said it before, but it fucking bugs me.
Mm-hmm. It's weird.
Like, time between past and present wouldn't be 1-to-1. Oh. When you get down to it, time's not real, but that's a different issue entirely. I sat in the quiet of the Palais courtyard, book in hand, and anxiously awaited for news on the priceless object that Claude had safely locked away. He was understandably distraught, especially since Fern's brother accidentally transported himself to the 15th century. Claude knew of Iggy because Fern told him. No, I'm not saying that Claude practically accused Iggy of theft, but with that crazy fool here in medieval Paris, dear Claude wanted to take no chances.
Where's Perry?
I can't do the fucking noise.
I can't either. Of all the people who would have the nerve to take that box. But if I told Claude, he'd laugh it off and say I was being paranoid. But still.
In all the cities, in all the countries, in all the continents, in all the centuries, he had to show up in mine. Oh. Honestly, the texture is the weirdest part.
Mm-hmm. It's like that soft but crunchy texture.
Other than that,
well, it's probably a little bit different just because you said the expiration date was best used in 2017. So
I was gonna say there's not an expiration date. There's a best used by.
Mm-hmm.
And the real question is when you have something like freeze dried food, how important that is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was gonna make a joke about like 2017 diseases, but I can't remember what was going around in 2017. You?
I'm thinking, it was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything. Maybe like I don't remember if it was 2016 or 2017 that had a little bit of a stronger strain of flu that came around.
Well, swine flu was back.
That was way back.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that was what, 10 years ago?
Something like that. Jeez. No, 12
God,
years ago. It was like 2008, I think.
God, I'm old. But what's the best way to describe it? I want to say styrofoam. That's
Okay.
what like taking a bite out of this is like styrofoam between two uh like chunks of, I don't know, like like not Kit Kat cores.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, time out. Let me back up.
A few months ago during the autumn, following my brush with death and the near breakup of a unique and very special relationship, I had paid Claude a surprise visit. It was during that visit that he showed me the most beautiful item I had ever seen.
His dick. It was a little box of the finest gold. The box was encrusted with flawless rubies, sapphires, lapis lazuli. Fucking hell, I butchered that pronunciation. Lapis lazuli, pearls, and in the center of the lid was a cameo carved from a single piece of fine jade. It was gorgeous. Claude explained to me that the box had historic significance. It is rumored to have belonged to Empress Theodora. It was given to her by a former Roman slave. You see, Nisha, this man had bought his freedom, and his former master, as a special token of his appreciation, gave this servant this priceless box. He continued, this man, now free, traveled to Constantinople. Well, okay, real question is it Istanbul or Constantinople? I'm confused.
Istanbul, Constantinople. Is it Istanbul or Constantinople? A long time ago. Constantinople or Constantinople. Okay, works.
I'm glad you got the reference.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. Let's
Nobody's
see.
business but the Turks.
Where he soon fell in love with one of Theodora's ladies in waiting. Of course, this young man had been well educated, and the Empress had was quite taken with this young man. Soon thereafter, he and his lady love were married, and to pay homage not only to Theodora, but also to Emperor Justinian, he gave the box to them.
My mind did flip-flops while Claude recounted this tale of love, priceless objects, and the generosity of an unknown man. Wow, these events occurred over 900 years ago. In my time, in the 20th century, my goodness, this box is over. Oy vey, 1400 years old.
I was really tempted to say, hey, that's my word, but I'm not Jewish. So I don't know why. Why did you start speaking Yiddish, Nisha? You know that we 14th century Catholics don't take well to the Jews. Also, that was not a very moving story of love, priceless objects, and the generosity of an unknown man.
Sounds just like a quick story that you tell, like, around a campfire. Like, it would have been more interesting if, like, say, the Empress had her husband, the Emperor, killed and the lady in waiting killed so she could have the freed Roman slave to herself or something. I don't know.
I mean, that would have been slightly more interesting. Wouldn't have been a very good love story, though.
Nope.
It's literally just, this man had the hots for one of the ladies in waiting of the Empress. That is all. Also, he gave the Empress a box.
But it's special because it's the Empress's box.
Kinky. I examined this remarkable piece of early medieval artistry. The intricate and lacy gold filigree, the flawlessness of the gemstones, the inside of the box lined in heavy gold. Sugar, this must be worth quite a fortune. Goodness, you imagine the price this thing would fetch in the 1990s? I can assure you it will be up in the millions. Then I added, After I realized not only the expert workmanship and the precious materials, but the box's historical significance, hunting in the 1990s, this item would be priceless. It belongs in a museum.
So do you.
Fuck you.
I was finishing the line. That's the
I
thing
know.
the guy responds with.
I was making a joke about me being an old bastard.
I know, but also, wouldn't you be happier in a museum just being able to look around?
I mean, eventually you get bored.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to go back to what happened in the 60s. Imagine this little box. Imagine this little box was touched by the great Empress Theodora, rumored to have been the real power behind Justinian's throne. I wonder what she kept it in. Probably a dresser.
Now, what she kept in the box.
Oh. I wonder what this box was stored inside.
In a bigger box that wasn't as ornate.
Bigger boot. Oh, no. But how did Claude get a hold of it? How did this gorgeous thing find its way from Theodora's hands to Claude Frollo's ugly-ass claws?
His hands were more like claws, weren't they?
At the very least in the Disney movie.
Claude kissed me, then began to answer my unasked question. My dear Thankantien de Noël, I can't speak French for this. He happened upon this little treasure during one of his many trips to Italy. Eden de Noël? No.
Etene de Noël?
I don't know if you even say the L's, but yeah, close enough. If y'all are reading along with this, just figure it out on your own. Sorry.
I don't speak French. You know, somehow I'm not too sure that the Catholic Church would be too big of a fan of Theodora, considering the fact she was a saint of the Eastern Orthodox Church. That's a different matter entirely.
Yes, but the Catholic Church is interested in gold, so...
That is true. Also, anything that was thought to have held any sort of religious significance to the point to where individual churches would break into each other to steal shit. Like, say, a decorated sandal once worn by a saint.
Mm-hmm.
Religious history is fun, kids. Let's see. Succeeded the throne in 527, 2 years after the marriage, became the empress of the Eastern Roman Empire, shared his plans, political strategies, participated in Saint councils, and Justinian called her his partner in deliberations. She had her own court, her own official entourage, and her own imperial seal. Oh no, that's a depiction of Justinian. I was about to say, and potentially a mustache. She was the first Eastern Roman empress consort to have coinage struck in her name. She was present when the emperor held court, and even held court independently when the emperor was unwell. He was given charge of his imperial seal, implying that her persuasion and consent were necessary before any document or order received legal validity. Emperor sought her views on most matters before issuing orders. The only other Roman empress to command such devotion from her husband was Theodora's niece Sophia. However, Sophia in constraint his Theodora. Holy shit. However, Sophia in constraint, his Theodora had little power and influence, and Theodora is therefore unique. Contrast. What is with not constraint, contrast. You there, Tom?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay. Wikipedia editors, can someone please explain to me what the fuck, however, Sophia in contrast, his Theodora had little power and influence is supposed to mean? Also, why is in capitalized, like the letter I and in capitalized? Like to lodge a formal complaint. Anyway. God damn it, Wikipedia. That's one of the cited ones, too. That sentence is cited. I need to know what the fuck happened with whoever was editing that part.
I'm on the Wikipedia page. I'm trying to find where you are here.
The citation is number 14.
Citation is number 14. Okay, give me a sec.
So, Control F bracket 14 bracket.
Okay, 16, 17, 16. Okay.
14.
However, Sophia, in contrast, his Theodore had little power and influence, and Theodore is therefore unique in the annals of the Eastern Roman. Okay, yeah, that's weird.
You saw the part I was talking about. That sentence doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. Not even. I don't even think a comma.
I think it's supposed to be in contrast to Theodora, but it says in contrast his Theodora.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a bad translation of the paper that's from?
It might have been like I could kind of see like calling Theodora like Justinian's Theodora, but at the same time it doesn't work too terribly well. So probably
it also
contrast.
seems slightly disrespectful.
Mm-hmm. And if it's well,
anyway,
I
looked at him quizzically. Claude, why does that name sound familiar? He smiled. Nisha. Etienne de Noailles is Solange Marchand's marital uncle. My meeting with him in André d'Arcy was during that same week that you and I nearly fucked. His voice broke off when he realized that his meeting occurred the same week that he and I had that horrible blow-up and nearly wrecked the good thing we had. I hate dirtbag breakups. So stupid. Anyway, I placed my hand upon his shoulder, saying in a comforting voice, that was the meeting you had with André d'Arcy and Solange's uncle after you had met my father. Later, I had to come storming in, say those terrible things. His lips covered mine. I felt his tongue gently and tenderly probe the inside of my mouth. You're gonna make me vomit this astronaut sandwich. I could have phrased that better. Astronaut sandwich.
I think you phrased it pretty well.
That one just sounds like I'm eating a sandwich made of astronaut.
Now, is it real or artificial astronaut?
I hope it's real. I paid good money for this. Explosions.
Explosions.
Roll from the ground, you stupid chair. Todd must die.
Todd must be exploded.
Then we will see who is named Bang.
I think it was later revealed.
Joker had been paying Todd.
Yes, to call it Bang.
To call him Bang instead, which would explain why he had that fucking smug smile every time when facing down fucking Bane.
King Shark. Todd doesn't work Wednesdays. Curse you, Todd!
They must have changed the schedule. Also, King Shark's just fucking adorable. Half the time. Also, you make sure that there's not going to be any blood. I kind of have issues with blood. I thought that just meant he got fainty. So did I.
Makes sense.
It's the new fish. Now, fellas, I understand that it's all in fun and all that. But if you ever use that word again... Anyway, if you give me inferior toilet wine one more time, I will have to shank you in the prison showers, and you know I don't want to do that. This feels so wonderful. He sure knows how to put my mind at ease.
Claude, I said, finally pulling from this oral embrace.
Ew.
Stop.
Oh. Ah. Really? Do you
Honey,
have to? Really? Are you fucking right here in front of my sandwich?
honey, how did this box end up with E.T., then with you, and what's to become of it?
Why the fuck are you calling her E.T.? I hate
No,
you. Oh.
no, I'm calling Etienne E.T. just because
I
it's
thought she
easier.
called her E.T. and I was like, what the fuck?
No.
Why are you calling Empress Theodora E.T.?
I mean, that works too, but I'm going to call Etienne, or however you say his name, E.T., just because it's easier.
He laughed. Picked up the box.
Okay.
Miss School Teacher. He laughed, picked up the box, flipped it open, and showed me the inscription inside the lid. Now, my knowledge of Latin is more limited than that of my French, but even I know the word Semper Fidelis, always faithful.
Claude, that's motto of the United States Marine Corps.
Motherfucker, you were in the fucking 15th century.
There's some editing mistakes coming up.
He laughed again, telling me, the noble American Marines borrowed that expression.
Yep.
Claude smiled as he explained. Theodora had an inkling that this box belonged to a Roman nobleman. Perhaps it once belonged to one of the great emperors, but she accepted the box and treasured it to the day she died. That's a single apostrophe. Then I asked, what happened to the box after Theodora's death? Claude's long, graceful finger gently caressed the pearl-trimmed latch. The box mysteriously vanished after the Emperor's death. No one knows exactly what happened. Somehow, this treasure found its way to Palestine. Claude went on to explain that it was never clear how the box ended up in Palestine. I think that's implied by the statement, somehow it found its way to Palestine. How did it get there? I don't know. That's why I said somehow. But he did tell me that a soldier on his tour of duty during the First Crusade. There's something that feels very much wrong about applying the phrase tour of duty to a fucking knight in the medieval era going on a crusade. You know what I mean?
Still works, though. They did think they were doing their duty.
Yes, but
it's coming from Claude Frollo, man. Come on.
It's the whole thing of phrases tend to have like certain implications and certain ways in which they work. Tour of duty works with someone in like the modern military because one, it's not a lifelong career, unlike being a knight usually tended to be, or was expected to be. And two, like you don't exactly just go on tours like as a fucking knight. It's not suddenly like now my noble knights, you are going to be doing. We are doing a military occupation of the kingdom about half a mile east of us. Like that's not typically how that worked.
Nah.
That's bought the box from a Jerusalem junk dealer. I couldn't believe this. Say it ain't so, Claude. You mean this priceless work ended up in someone's junk pile? Well, it's gaudy as shit.
Now I'm just thinking like I know this isn't like culturally like equivalent, but like I'm just imagining the genie or the merchant from Aladdin like just selling this and
oh my god.
Just, I don't know.
I believe
Claude Flow the flow row.
Ah, yes, Claude Frollo.
Claude Frollo laughed again, saying that this soldier took the box home to Padua, where it remained in his possession until his death. The box, along with all his other possessions, were scattered throughout Italy. No one knew the box's true value nor its historical significance. Anyway, enter E.T. de Noailles and Andre Darcy. Mademoiselle de Noailles found the box during one of his trips to, or no, Monsieur de Noailles found the box during one of his trips to Venice. He had spied the box in a second-hand shop, languishing amongst a pile of rusting lamps and broken vases.
Why does this keep ending up in junk shops?
E.T. brought the box back to France, and that was where
E.T. bring home.
that was when he and Andre did some digging. And all that tireless research paid off handsomely when they finally relayed all this wonderful news to Claude Frollo.
Motherfucker, do you understand how hard it is to fucking research stuff back then? Half the books were destroyed. You can't just be like, this
No.
looks
They used the
I wonder
medieval.
what it is.
They used the medieval internet. It's fine. Don't question it.
You can't just fucking identify shit by its markings. Like, we have this almanac of special fucking expensive items that were lost to history.
Now they probably used a wizard.
You know very well that the Catholic Church wouldn't use a wizard.
Oh yes, they totally would because they're hypocrites.
That's all churches. You're mixing up Catholics with all churches.
No, that's not all churches.
Yes. Anyway. Claude then told me that the box was to be presented to the king at a reception to be hosted. A reception to be hosted at Etienne de Noailles and Claude Frollo. Okay. Oh, God. Andre Darcy hoped to be in attendance as well, but since he and his family would be vacationing.
You okay there? You having a stroke?
Yes. Would be vacationing in Genoa, he wrote up a lengthy piece detailing the legend behind Theodora's box. Special little nub in there no one's ever been able to find. It will be an informal gathering with a few friends. This affair will not be until next fall, summer to be precise, well after your high school reunion. That's not how time works.
Everyone knows time runs at a 1-to-1 pace from the past and the present. And
Time
the
is
future,
a flat
too.
circle, you dumb bitch.
I'm being sarcastic. I smiled, knowing that Claude Frollo had promised to escort me to my reunion. Then I asked him about the box's security. After all, baby, this is a priceless object. Surely you'll keep this in a safe place.
Sniper towers. I have done my research by watching your American Sniper.
I'm just thinking. Like,
I went even further forward in time to watch your movies.
Now I'm just thinking like freaking like sniper wizard towers, just wizards like aiming out the window with just a finger gun.
That was not a very realistic baby.
Hey.
So that one movie just managed to take that one scene managed to just fucking take everyone out of the movie.
What scene?
An American Sniper, the scene with the baby.
I don't remember that scene.
The whole thing is that they couldn't get a real baby for filming.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason. Which, again, weirdly surprising considering the fact that, forgot his name, the director.
Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood is the kind of person who usually wants everything done in one take.
Mm-hmm.
So he should very much have been able to film using a real baby without having to worry about time constraints. But no, it was just a really obvious baby doll.
Hmm.
And so you have
Okay.
I can't remember who the main character was played by.
Yeah, I can't either, but
the baby's handed to him, and it's so obviously not real. And like he puts his fucking thumb under its hand and just like wiggles his thumb to make it look like it's moving.
yeah, no, I don't remember that scene.
And it was just like, this is so bad.
I'll have to keep an eye out for that next time I watch American Sniper.
How often do you watch American Sniper?
I watched it once. Like to see it again. I enjoyed the movie.
To this, Claude replied, "My dear Danisha, that is why Intian entrusted me with this treasure. I assure you I have taken great pains to see that Theodore's box is safely hidden away." I am never going to be able to take the phrase Theodora's box seriously.
That said, he began to return the box to its double-locked, iron-reinforced chest.
You know what you could do? Hide it in the future, and then return to that when you need to retrieve it. Return to that point in the future, seconds after you left.
No, that's not how time works in this universe, Llytic. At that moment, I had an idea. Pulling one of those throwaway cameras from my purse.
It tends to hurt you.
I said, "Wait, sugar britches." Oh, my God. Would you mind if I get a snapshot of this box? I mean, I'm sure my mother would love to see this beauty, even if it's only a photograph.
Just sends it to her mother. Mother's reply, "That is the ugliest box I've ever seen. I have seen quite a few."
That's real tacky. But like, so okay, is this the photograph that freaking what's his name found in the prologue?
Probably not. No. The photos he was looking at, photos of Danisha and Frollo hanging out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. Every time I laugh, it makes me laugh. Every time I laugh, it makes me laugh. When I laugh, it makes me laugh. You've seen that one?
I can't say I have.
No, show it to you after.
I don't know if I want to see it, but I kind of want to, but I kind of don't.
Oh no.
It's that weird, like, it's kind of like watching a car crash thing. I want to watch because I can't.
You mean Nickelback?
I mean, yes and no, just the parody thing. Like, I don't know. It just, some of those, it's like, it's really good. Then others, it's just like,
look at this graph. Claude was kind enough to oblige my request. Little did I know that something as innocent as a photograph would be Claude Frollo's salvation, but more on that later. You know, I should expect a history teacher to be bad at foreshadowing.
But more on that later. I'm so
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Wasn't trying for Sonic, but okay.
More specifically, Aaron Hansen doing a Sonic the Hedgehog impression.
I'll take that as a compliment. After I took several snapshots.
No. Now I remember what it was. Have you seen that one episode of like that one where he was playing that Mickey Mouse game? And the entire time he was imitating an angry video game nerd knockoff.
I believe so. Yes.
That's what it sounded like.
Mickey Mouse.
But more on that later.
After I took several snapshots, Claude locked the golden bejeweled box in its ironclad safe. Then he had two soldiers.
It's more impressive than this game.
Then he had two soldiers carry it down to a remote area within the dungeons. Claude Frollo himself oversaw this priceless treasure carefully and securely locked away. Only he and those soldiers knew of the box's precise location, and Claude had the only key to this special hiding place. And that key was hidden somewhere within the Palace of Justice in a spot only known to Claude.
It's inside my asshole.
There's only one way to smuggle it through intergalactic transit. Interdimensional transit.
No one will be able to find the key, as no one wants to fist me.
I'm just thinking of like this one like Gravity Falls X Morty Stanford calling Rick. Rick answers, "Hello, hey Rick, I need some advice on how to smuggle such and such through interdimensional transport."
Oh,
what do you mean, the planet or the body part?
Gotta shove those seeds way up your butt, Morty.
Yeah, that.
If he had the only key, why is he so paranoid that someone could have stolen the box? Well, you see, if you damage the hinges in the right way, it's kind of like how you can pop a door off its hinges.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what you're doing, a lock on a chest isn't that big of an issue. Especially one made of metal.
Mm-hmm.
Oy. It doesn't make sense. Iggy couldn't have done such a thing because he arrived in the 15th century only last night. All I can do is pray that the box is safe and sound. Poor Claude.
These and many other thoughts swirled around in my head. My heart went out to Claude, the man I loved, who at this moment was filled with profound dread that someone may have lifted that box. Then I thought of Fern. Poor Fern. Her whacked-out brother had stolen the 59 Chevy, the car equipped with the time traveler, and blasted himself to the 15th century. Fern had received an odd message from Jihan informing her of Iggy's arrival. Then Jihan split for Florence, palming Iggy off on Phoebus. Phoebus, that numbskull ex-soldier who, many years ago, had fallen for a certain gypsy dancer that nearly ruined his life because her.
I fucking hate you, writer. I'm going to beat you with a dead horse, writer. And no, it's not just because recently a character I've been playing was at one point described as looking like a forearm version of Esmeralda. I'm not taking this personally. You're taking this personally.
Okay, no one said anything, Llytic. Just calm down there, bud.
Point is, in the original story, Esmeralda was not a good person, but at the same time, it wasn't because of the whole gypsy thing. And also, Frollo was shown as the bad guy for being a dick over because someone had turned him on. Oy.
Yes, Claude Frollo is certainly husbando material.
Yes, because nothing is sexier, apparently, than someone who's sexually frustrated and doesn't understand how to deal with their own emotions. Wait, no. Oy. Alright. Let's see. You know, I hate to admit it, but I always thought of Phoebus as lovable in a big, dumb jock way. I'm going to beat you with a dead horse! But the thought of him palling around with Iggy McMullen, no telling what sort of mischief Iggy, that goofy, overgrown medieval bubba could get into.
Maybe they'll stay out of Claude's way, because ever since Fern told him all about Iggy, I know Claude will not be too pleased to meet this 45-year-old hippie. I muttered to myself as I took a healthy gulp of Tennessee whiskey I kept in a silver flask, then flipped back to the page I was reading. Suddenly I felt a tap on my shoulder. Claude?
That's better.
I don't know how, but that sipping sounded very, very condescending.
I mean, that's not what I was going for. I was more imitating a bong rip, but whatever. Like not a bong rip, like bong bubbling, but whatever.
Still sounded condescending regardless. And I'm okay with that.
How did you make a bong sound condescending? Well. Anyway, honestly, it might have been the lead up because I'm pretty sure you heard me uncap my water bottle.
Actually, I didn't. I don't know if it picked up in the recording, but I didn't hear it.
Swallow this dry ice cream sandwich quick. I hope I'm not disturbing you, but Minister Frollo. Oh, wait. I hope I'm not disturbing you, but Minister Frollo sent me up with a message for you. Message for you, sir. I lifted my eyes from the book to this young man's sweet face. Recognized him right away. He was an adorable youth of 19 years, with neatly trimmed hair and sparkling greenish-gray eyes. This young man was dressed in the most stylish outfit. A dark green velvet doublet, dark brown tights, and matching shoes. No, he wasn't as stylish as Claude. No one could be as with it as Claude. Give me a sec. I need to find a dead horse. I'm not going to kill one myself. It'd be mean. I don't know. Sure, if I walk far enough, I'll find one.
Mm-hmm. Now, why don't we wait to do this after the recording?
All right. But this young man had an air of confidence that was so refreshing. But...
Secretary of Defense changed to code brown because I need to change my pants.
Hey.
He was a little guy, about 5'5" tall, 1 inch taller than me, and he was rather stocky.
Shorter.
And he was rather stocky, a condition that wasn't helped by the beginnings of a beer gut. And that's too bad to let oneself go at such an early age.
How the fuck was he getting a beer gut in the 14th? Oh, God, he must be rich.
Probably. I mean, he's wearing velvet.
Just give me a sec. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but velvet tends to be, like actual velvet tends to be created from the skin on deer antlers, correct?
Maybe? I don't know.
Well, that's called velvet. Velvet from evil first became available in Europe in the 13th century. Tufts that were cut apart to create two sides of fabric. Okay, so velvet was a thing. Velvet. Origin. Woven from silken linen, which resemble velvet. Velvet. Okay. Where does velvet come from? Industry. Most of the world's supply of velvet antlers comes from Sika deer, red deer, elk, and wapiti, including a large deer ranching industry in New Zealand. New Zealand is the world's largest producer of velvet, producing 450 to 500 tons of red deer velvet antler annually. Dear God, load prop. Early history of velvet. Pile weaves woven from... Velvet has always been a luxury fabric. Difficult to produce, woven of lustrous silk with deep... Okay, let's see. Okay, so apparently you can weave velvet, but it's very fucking hard.
Mm-hmm. So probably expensive.
Yeah, very.
So yeah, he probably is rich.
Velvet made entire... Okay. Apparently there are different types of velvet. Velvet is a type of woven tufted fabric in which the cut threads are evenly distributed with a short, dense pile, giving a distinctive soft feel. By extension, the word velveteen means smooth like velvet. Velvet can be made either from synthetic or natural fibers. Back then, it would have to be natural fibers as they didn't have a way to create synthetic fibers. Woven on a special loom that weaves two thicknesses of material at the same time, the two pieces are then cut apart to create the pile effect. Two lengths of fabric are wound on separate take-up rolls. Complicated process. The velvet was an expense to make before industrial power looms became available, and well-made velvet remains a fairly costly fabric. Velvet is difficult to clean because of its pile, but modern dry cleaning methods make cleaning more feasible. It's created by warp or vertical yarns. Velvet pile is created by warp or vertical yarns, and velveteen pile is created by weft or fill yarns. History. Velvet has often been associated with nobility. Velvet was introduced to Baghdad during the rule of Harun al-Rashid by Kashmiri merchants, and to Al-Andalus by Ziryab. In the Mamluk era, Cairo was the world's largest producer of velvet. Much of it was exported to Venice, whence it spread to most of Europe, Iberia, and the Mali Empire. Musa I of Mali, the ruler of the Mali Empire, visited Cairo on his pilgrimage to Mecca. Many Arab velvet makers accompanied him back to Timbuktu. Later, Ibn Batuba. No, not Batuba. Batuba. No, not. Fuck. Batuta. Mentions how Suleiman, the ruler of Mali, wore a locally produced complete crimson velvet kaftan on Eid. During the reign of Mehmed II, assistant cooks wore blue dresses, conical hats, and baggy trousers made from Bursa velvet. All right. So, yeah, textile fabric. Okay. This entire time I thought, I guess antler velvet is a different thing.
Yeah, it might just be a term for, I don't know.
Fun fact, deer tend to eat the velvet from their antlers after they scrape it off.
Probably a good source of protein.
Well, yeah. It also means that their fucking antlers are covered in blood.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. Anyway. God. Mademoiselle Nisha. Do you mind if I call you Nisha? It's such a pretty name. I nodded, and the young man continued. Anyway, His Grace is happy to report that all is well, and he would like you to join him upon the colonnade.
I smiled at this chunky little guy. Somehow he helped put my earlier apprehensions at ease, for I knew right away that this kid will go far.
And I'm not just talking about his expanding waistline.
After all, with a little coaching from Claude, this boy just may very well become the next Under-Minister of Justice.
The under what now?
Under-Minister of Justice. I suppose. Is that Frollo's title? I don't know, honestly.
He's the Minister of Justice, not the Under-Minister of Justice. Don't know what's up with the under part. Maybe understudy?
Possibly, yeah.
Thank you, Francis. That is welcome news. Francis Pateau returned the smile, adding, I think you and Minister Frollo make an interesting couple. That you're both terrible people. Glad you're his friend. Seeing you was one bright spot of my apprenticeship here in Pilates.
Palisade.
Well, I better be. I think I drank that once. Well, I better be off to finish my lessons. His Grace has offered to help me with my Latin.
Don't accidentally summon demons.
Already done it twice.
Again, my mouth broadened to a smile as I got up and headed inside. Francois, you're a bright, personable young man, but don't forget to have some fun now and then. That was the only way I was able to get through school. I have to let it loose sometime, but make sure you have your priorities in order.
Let it all hang out from time to time. Francis replied with a broad smile of marked gratitude. Thank you, Mademoiselle Nisha.
When I reached the colonnade, Claude was already there and intently watching a street performance. I thought nothing of it, but later, when I took a good look, Llytic, you there?
Oh, that was dry.
Okay.
My love, he began when he kissed my lips. I was worried for nothing. Theodora's box is safe and sound right where I left it. Please stop talking about this poor dead woman's box.
It's made of macaroni. It's a fake. Call it twist now.
I think if your box is made of macaroni, you have bigger problems here.
You see, I'm thinking like
the doctor.
You see, I'm thinking of the literal box. Well, you're thinking of something that I've never heard the slang term for, and
vagina.
Yeah, I figured, but like,
I've really never heard it referred to as box before.
No, I haven't. With a sigh of relief, I returned the kiss, saying, "Baby, I know that's a load off your mind and off mine." We laughed briefly, then I mentioned Francois Pateau. He's such a special young man, but I don't know much about him. Who is he? Where is he from?
You can't be saying that, Nisha. Kind of mean. Claude promised he'd fill me in on Francis over dinner, but for now, he wanted to fill me in himself. He wanted to turn my attention on what was going on in the street. Nisha, you've seen our many street musicians, some of which I've tried to kill for arousing me. But tell me, have you ever seen anything quite like that? I know I haven't.
My eyes scanned the town square that faced the Palais. My ears followed the unusual sounds emanating from the street directly below us. I appeared at the pair of performers.
Screaming.
I appeared at the pair of performers, partially surrounded by a gathering crowd, which seemed intrigued. Yes, which seemed intrigued by this exhibition. As I studied,
exhibition.
I said exhibition. This exhibition. Where's your mind, dude? As I studied the two men, my eyes grew wide because I recognized those guys at once. I clung to Claude's arm and frantically pointed to the performers. Sugar britches. Did you get a good look at those guys? I mean,
oh my.
And listen carefully.
Why do you keep getting sugar britches?
I don't know, and I hate it.
I nodded and endeavored to keep. Wait, nope.
Claude Frollo.
Claude Floro also scrutinized these two, his eyes never-wavering from veiled comical antics. Then his facial expression Halden. His voice grew harsh with disbelief as he immediately exclaimed, "Miss, isn't that Phoebus, my formal captain? And who is his friend? Oh no, please don't tell me."
I don't know where you're going with this, but like, it's both sounding slightly racist and also reminding me of this one video I saw of someone quoting Frederick Nietzsche in the Awoo voice.
Guy's dead and we have killed him.
Ah, you've seen it too. Okay.
No, I haven't. It's just quite easy to think about. But no, I was switching L's and R's. Not just doing R's instead of L's. Glue house.
We're on I nodded, right?
Yep.
I nodded and endeavored to keep my toes from tapping to the lively beat of the music or from laughing from the hysterical lyrics. Ooh, there were one tall, bulky blonde guy dressed like a 15th century everyman, and the other, much shorter, barefooted fellow dressed in a pair of patched jeans and old tie-dye shirt and a red bandana wrapped around his shoulder-length gray blonde hair. He played a guitar, which I recognized right away. It belonged to Fern, the song they sang. Oh, I know this song.
I think the blue cotton pants are gonna draw some eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. I don't know how it fucking goes.
You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. It's such a fun song.
Anything you want at Alice's restaurant.
Close enough.
What you expect?
Well, I mean, you've never heard it before, but I guess you were imitating the tune that I did. You did a good job. I wasn't being condescending.
I went with a fucking beat pattern.
Yeah, that's basically what it sounded like. It worked well. It's one of those songs. It's like I think the guy's name was Arlo Guthrie, but I don't remember. No, I really tried. Yeah, that. Now I really tried. Now, I really tried not to laugh out loud because poor Claude was decidedly perturbed that not only Iggy had arrived, but he got his ex-captain riding shotgun. All I could do was
perturbed by just how tight those pants hugged Iggy's ass.
And how they flared out at the ankles for some reason.
He had never seen an ass quite like that before. Iggy was, in fact, all caked up.
All I could do was to put my hand in Claude, kissed his now bewildered face, and sweetly say, "Sugar britches, that man is Daniel Ignatius McMullen, otherwise known as Iggy to those near and dear to him, and it looks as though he's made a friend already." I paused and asked, "But where's Fern? I know she arrived this morning, but..."
I don't know, all I can think about is just like that. Like, during Pathfinder, like, I ended up giving, like, a short recap because, like, one of like other Tom had stepped away for a second and was like, okay, what's going on? I just like gave that explanation. Just TLDR, Lawrence's ass wasn't fat enough.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I am the king of stupid jokes. Emphasis on the stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I just love your reactions. Like, fuck you. I have an amazing ass.
No, that was not my reaction. That was Lawrence's reaction. I forgot his name for a second. I feel bad because it's my character, and I really like him.
Apparently, Lawrence is now confirmed thick.
Well, I mean,
Lawrence got that cake. He walks in the room, his ass walks in a half second after.
I mean, he is a Celtic Viking. For those of you who don't know what's going on, we're talking about some of our characters from Pathfinder. I made a cavalier, which is basically the horse riding knight character, who is a mix, whose culture is a mix of Vikings and Celtics. And yes, he's thick as heck, man.
And then meanwhile, there's my dumbass who decided, hey, let's make a cleric with a lisp who is a tiefling who worships an Egyptian god.
King of stupid jokes. Llytic, everyone.
Yes. It's like all of mine are like, what's something I shouldn't do?
Usually if like you think of a character concept and like, man, I totally should do this idea. Usually it's fantastic and you should do it.
Are we talking about me or just people in general?
Both.
Okay. Well, you've seen a lot of my character concepts.
Yes.
And they're all stupid.
In the best way possible.
Oh yeah. Claude pointed long, slender finger at the long...
That's a long woman.
Long Tom. At the large woman storming up the cross street. His mouth then curved into a wide, wicked grin as he replied, "Now, my love, I'd very much like to witness how Madame Fern handles her wayward brother."
Yeah, she'll handle him all right, but it will be of no use. Iggy will just bumble on and stumble upon another potential friend.
Why is Iggy gotta be the bad guy in all this?
Mm-hmm.
It's like all this stuff is like that's not really a bad person. That's not really a bad thing. And then they have it to where he's just like a lazy jackass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what kind of anti-hippie sentiment am I running into in the 90s?
Mm.
Pretty sure that stopped being a thing by that point.
Oh, I'm
Or is the
sure
author
there's.
just one of those people who won't shut up about how great the past is?
I'm sure.
With his
I'm sure
hippie
there's still.
hate.
I'm sure there's still anti-hippie people all over the place.
Really? That potential friend would be added to Claude's long list of warrances.
Grievances and worries mixed into one word. Warrances.
I swear I could speak English. Worries.
Just not well.
For unbeknownst to the Minister of Justice, Iggy McMullen will have a certain bell ringer caught up back in the day. Then Claude's lady will get herself all wrapped up in the merriment as well, much to Claude Frollo's discontent.
Well, we got to talking about our good old days, and Iggy Quasi and I started using that old 60s and 70s slang. Poor Phoebus didn't get it, and neither did Claude. Hi, my name's Tom. I swear I'm not an alcoholic. I don't have a problem. Do not question.
Where's my vodka? Again, it's these little asides to the audiences that really annoy me.
It can be done in a charming and effective way. This is just an example of how not to do that.
Yeah. You ain't Shakespeare, ma'am. Then Iggy talked Quasi into. Then he got Phoebus to. I was too through, and I walked into the bell tower, and that was so funny.
And things started to go haywire. Then the real fun began. I'm sorry, are we missing like an entire paragraph?
All right, so my review of the ice cream sandwich, dry. Story, not good.
Mm-hmm.
Special thanks to Destiny Baird and Longreach Jones for supporting us on Patreon. If you like what we do and would like to support us, consider going down to that link in the description. Yes, into the link, you heard me right. And supporting us on Patreon. It doesn't have to be much. Little as $1 a month. It's up to you, no big. And that's where we're going to leave this.
Y'all have a good one.
Woo. We're